Hello and welcome to our animation tutorial. So in this animation we are going to use the Rigidbody system that is built into Blender 3D. So this is Blender, you've seen it before, and we're going to just straight away get stuck into some of the really incredible and advanced sort of physics features that are in it. So this is the toolbar, and there's lots of tabs down the side, and one is a physics tab. So at the moment I've got my default cube, and I'm going to just say add active. It's going to turn green when I do that. Now I'm going to use this blue arrow here. I'm just going to grab it and lift up this using the left mouse button. I'm going to press play, and this is falling under the weight of gravity. So I press stop, and I can look at my animation here. So it's just falling under the weight of gravity. So let's add a new object in. Let's go Shift A and add in a plane. Make go S. I'll make that passive. So it's not going to fall under the weight of gravity, but it will interact with other rigid body items. Press play. Okay, so one falls on the other. Not terribly exciting. So let's select this guy here and go OR on the X axis, so we can turn this with the mouse. Left click to confirm and press play, and we can see immediately that we can start running simulations. I can go Shift D, Shift D, Shift D and press play, and they'll all interact with each other. So quite even at, without doing very much, just using the default items that we start with, and with adding very little kind of geometry or any modeling, we can make something very interesting. So I'm going to start again, and I'm going to turn on screencasting so you can see what keys I'm pressing. So screencast keys, there we go. And I'll press N and go down to start display, so you'll see whatever key I press over here will appear on screen. Okay, so I'm going to delete the default cube. Press X and delete. I'm going to press on the numpad 7 and 5 top orthographic view, and I'm going to go Shift A to add a mesh, and I'm going to add a torus. And before we do anything with that torus, we're going to go over here and have a look. It says major segments 48. That's too many. 12, and we're down here 12 and 12 is fine. So let's go in and have a look at this. I'm going to go S scale on Y, and yeah, we'll do that. Not pretty, but it's okay. And I'm going to click smooth. Now, what have I done, and why am I doing it? Well, this is going to be a chain, and it's going to be a link in a chain. So before I go any further, I'm going to move the properties window over a little bit. So this is my mesh, my torus, and I'm going to click on the physics tab, and as before I'm going to go physics here, and I'm going to go add active, and you'll see this change over here. So add active, turn green. And now you can see that there's an X here beside Rigidbody, so I can X out of this, or I can set it to be a Rigidbody. So I can set it here or in this window here. Now it's saying what are the properties of this Rigidbody, and the thing that we want to change here is to mesh. So this is collision. So how will it recognize collision? And the most accurate collision we can have is this one here, mesh. Now it takes the most processing for the computer that you're working on, but it'll give the most accurate results. Okay, so I've got one link in a chain, not terribly exciting. So let's go Shift D, so that duplicates, and then I can hit escape. So I've got two of these toruses, one sitting on top of the other, and there's the first one, there's the second one. So I'm going to go GY. So move this down this way a little bit, just doing it by eye. And now I want to rotate it on the y-axis, so I'm going to go or y 90 enter. And that's a little bit more like a chain. What's nice in Blender is I can hold down the Shift key and right click on both of these and go Shift D, GY, and duplicate it and move it. GY, do the same as this one, GY. Yeah, so we don't want them inside each other. Okay, now I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just held down the Shift key there and right clicked on each of these. Shift D and move it along the Y axis to there. So now I've got a chain. And what if I press play now? It'll fall, which is not terribly interesting. So I'm going to pull back my animation. If I take this one though, and instead of it being active, I set it to be passive, like we did with the floor before, with the plane, we should get something interesting. So play. Okay. So we have the simulation, which is also an animation. Okay, and it's 250 frames long. And we can just pause this and we can go to any frame we want, forward and backwards in time. Okay. So very cool, very cool indeed. So now let's go back to frame 1 and press 7 on the numpad, and I'm going to go B and draw a box around these items, and then go Shift D, escape, G on X. I'll move that to there. So now I've just duplicated this, and now if I press play, I get the two of them, and they'll swing side by side. They won't be exactly the same. Every time the simulation runs, it's a little bit different. But now what we'll do is we'll do something a little funky. So I'm going to select that item there and that item there at the same time. So I shifted, and now I'm going to go Control J. And what Control J does is it makes them the same item. So these are now the same mesh. So let's see what I can do with this new piece of information. So I'm going to go into edit mode and go back to the beginning. Ooh, and you'll see something strange has happened. So let's just, I'm actually going to select this and delete it. How I did that was I right clicked on a vertex, pressed L, which is select all linked vertices, X, delete all vertices. So let's take this here. We're in edit mode, and you can change down here, object mode, edit mode. So I'm going to select it all, and go Shift D, G, X, and I'm going to move it over there. And I'm going to go to wireframe mode. I'm going to press Z and then A. B, draw a box. I'm going to delete these vertices here. And now I'm going to add a cube, and it's going to add in wherever this is here. So it's going to place that there, left click, Shift A, add a cube. Scale the cube on X, G on Y, A to deselect, B, draw another box, G, Y. Now, so I've made this. What I can also do, which is quite cool, is click in here somewhere, I'm going to add text. I'm going to scale it up, move it there, and then how do I change the text? I go into edit mode, and now it's like a word processor. Backspace, and I can go B-I-F-E, Biffy. Now this is the text over here, and what I'm going to do with my text is I'm going to convert it from being text into being a mesh. So I go object, convert, mesh, mesh from curve or from text. Okay, and then I can go into edit mode, select it all, and then extrude, press the E key, and there's my Biffy there. Okay, G, Z, bring it back a little bit, press Z, go into solid mode, and now what I want to do is I want to make this piece of text, even though it's a mesh, it's a separate object to this this piece here. So I want to join them together, so I'm going to select my Biffy, hold down the shift key and right click on this item and then go Control J. And Control J is join. Now we have something a bit more interesting. So let's put it into solid mode and press play and see what the simulation is like. Okay, and we can rotate around while it's moving. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to position the camera. So I'm going to right click on the camera and go up here. I'm going to go lock camera to view. Press 0 on the numpad. That's what the camera can see. Now when I start moving around, zooming, I'm actually so let's start it maybe there. Unclick this, zoom in here just to fill the screen and press play. Okay, I need to be back just a little bit because it's going just out of frame. It's about there. Cool. So we'll worry about coloring it in and rendering it out and making it into a movie. But this is Rigidbody animation. It's more simulation than an animation, but it's pretty cool. And there's no limit to what you can do, and you can make really complex simulations, and it's really good for making things like logos, as you can see. So I'll save that. I'll go save as, and we'll call it BIFE logo. Let's stick it on the desktop. Save, and that's all we're doing for now.